like a very handsome actor. I was so excited. Sir, I don't know how to invite you, but it's a pleasure for Jaipurians, it's a pleasure for Rajasthanis, it's a pleasure for IHMR to have Devi Shetty on this time. And before I hand over to Dr. Devi Shetty, we are having Dr. Devi Shetty's son with us. He is doing engineering and he is assisting his father for this convocation. A big hand to him. Thank you for it.
I always thought you are the first. And one of your products, Mr. Udayan Lahiri is managing our 50 crore investment in Calcutta. And even if the others say you are one of the 10, I would think you are the first. I told my son that we are going to Jaipur for a presentation. I would like to address the young graduates. And he said, Dad, don't bore those young people. Why do you have to travel that long distance? I said, there is a reason. The reason is, I'm not sure whether you can read it. Our health will be in your hands 10 years from now. When we all grow old, you are the guys who are going to manage those hospitals. And if you mess it up, you're going to mess up my operation if I require. So I better be careful in investing on you guys. It's a good investment for the future. Next one, please. Year 2000 of the world. There is one most irresponsible organization called WHO, and they made the statement. Why they made the statement? Because they are living in the ivory towers of Switzerland, far away from the reality. WHO has no relevance to be in developed country. WHO headquarters should be in China or India, because that's where it is required. It is organized by a group of retired government officers. As a benefit for their service to the government, they are posted there for 1 or 2 years to work in the ivory tower. And all the problems of healthcare today we see is because of the myopic concepts and philosophies what WHO has done. Every type of business, the challenges and the way it is done has changed, except WHO. It is still sticking on to the traditions. And one of my mission in life is, before I retire, before I hang up my shoes, we would ensure that the headquarters from Geneva is shifted to some other country where they are close to the reality. They haven't read about it. Forget about giving free health care. Today, government is making money by selling health care. And unfortunately, they are not selling. We are selling and they are making money. If you look at the accounting of any hospital, about 12 to 15% of our budget, our expenses, goes for paying the taxes to the government. It is the responsibility of the government to offer health care for everyone, rich and poor. Forget about the rich people. They can at least offer to the poor people. They don't. There is a disease called rheumatic valvular heart disease, which affects only the poor people. And these are the people who lived in the slums. Because of the poor socioeconomic status, they get this disease and they require a valve operation. And the price of the valve is about 45,000 rupees. And on top of that, he has to pay 5,000 rupees to the state government for being poor, living in the slum, This is the penalty a poor man has to pay. And this is the attitude of the government towards the healthcare. Why? Because none of us who are in a position to question, we do not question, and a poor man has got no lobby. Next one, please. I keep on talking about one issues after other. They're all disconnected. I'm not a orator. I'm only a doctor. I'm a technician who can cut and stitch the heart. With some experience, I have gathered some knowledge, and I'm giving it to you. So don't expect it to be a very streamlined presentation. World Heart Foundation declared last year that 100 years after the first heart surgery, less than 8% of the world's population has access to it. 92% of the world's population has no access to heart surgery. So this phenomena is not Indian phenomena. It is a global phenomena. So India is no exception. Next one. Now, what is this? I keep talking about the heart. That is an example. The rest of the healthcare more or less follows the same way. In the whole world, 6.5 lakh heart operations are done every year. Out of them, 4.5 lakh heart operations are done only in USA. The rest of the world is doing 2 lakh heart operations. So, for the industry which makes drugs and disposables and capital items, America is the world. And it doesn't matter to them what happens outside Europe, outside America. And we are given the equipments for the American market. Next one, please. Our situation is different. We can hire technicians at fraction of a salary what an American hospital can afford. But we buy the equipment, a cath lab or a CT scan or any other equipment made for American requirement. It is like today if you look at the automobile industry, if there are only Rolls-Royce, Mercedes and occasional BMWs, there won't be an automobile industry. But the healthcare has only Rolls-Royce, Mercedes and Ferraris. There is no Maruti 100s, Maruti 200 or whatever. Next one, please. Anything which happens 100 years earlier gets translated to the poor people. Aluminium was handled only by the royalty long ago. Today, a poor man has aluminium. In good old days, a royalty could travel. Today, a poor man can try. But why the translation hasn't happened in the healthcare, especially in the heart care, is entire growth of heart care industry was stalled by one machine called cath lab. In 1987, a cath lab was costing about 4 to 5 crore rupees, and you could build a whole heart hospital for 4 crore rupees. So nobody wanted to invest that kind of money on one equipment. And without a cath lab, there can't be a heart care industry. Next one, please. If you have enough cath lab, then what else will hold you back the development in this country? That is the lack of interventional cardiologists. In this country, our concept is to produce shortage. We don't produce enough. Then when you produce shortage, the next thing what you do is to cash on it. Today, if you want to get into MD in medicine, the minimum required capitation fees is about 50 to 60 lakh rupees. Now imagine if there are 1,000 or 2,000 MD medicine seats, then only the good institute will survive, good people will get in. But we hang on to the professional fees amount goes up. If you look at the third world country, the highest fees by a patient is paid in the most underdeveloped country. In Bangladesh, a cardiologist charges 1,000 rupees for a fee as his service. And if he writes a letter referring a patient to see Dr. Shetty, he charges 500 taka extra. And that person comes and sees me without paying any money. This is how we capitalize on the shortages. Next one, please. Now, what about the Indian heart care scenario? Indians are 3 times more vulnerable for heart attacks than Europeans. Indians suffer from heart attack at a young age. In a medical student, we thought it is the young son bringing his old father for a bypass grafting operation. In my practice, it's the old father bringing his young son for a heart operation, because the average age of my patients in India is 45. In England, the average age of my patients used to be 65 to 70. Every third Indian develops a heart attack before retirement. India requires 25 lakh heart operations to be done annually. Every year we should do 25 lakh heart operations. Can anybody guess how many heart operations are done today? It's about 45,000 heart operations. Now what happens to the rest? They all perish gradually over a period of time. Next one, please. We produce the largest number of children in the world. So we also produce the largest number of children with the heart disease in the world. We produce something like 300 children a day with the heart disease. And in the whole year, about 2,000 to 3,000 children from affluent families get operated. Next one, please. All this is done with the intention. The shortages, you skipped one slide, I think. Just can you go back? Go back. Next one. All the shortages in healthcare is mainly done with the intention to increase the safety. A surgeon in US, when he retires at the end of 25 years of active life, he would have done about 2,500 heart operations. He is not allowed to do more operations. But we are in the process of changing those equations. We have surgeons in our hospital who are in their 30s who have already done 5,000 heart operations. So by doing more procedures, you do better. And by doing less number of operations, the safety factor of the healthcare hasn't gone up. Now I'll ask a question. How safe is the US healthcare industry? How safe is the patient when he goes to the American hospital? In US, every year, roughly about 100,000 people die either because of over-treatment, under-treatment or no treatment. 1 lakh people die. Now you compare that statistics to aviation industry. That will roughly correspond to 2 Boeings crashing every day. That kind of safety norms. Now you assume it is an exaggeration. Even if 1 Boeing crashes every day, how many of you will fly it? I don't think many of us have the guts to fly. That is the safety norm available in the healthcare industry today. Next one, please. The other statement we make constantly is, it's not the people who are sick. Most of the hospitals in this country are sick. They are sick because they are not run in a professional manner. Now what about in the US? Next one, please. Most of the hospitals in the US are not for profit. They are not for profit by design because they don't make profit, they make loss. That is. Now what ails the healthcare industry? The biggest problem is, in the name of safety, we underutilize our facility and we duplicate facilities. One diagnostic lab in one road has CT scan MRI. 500 meters away from another lab also has the same equipment. So we try to compete among each other. Instead, if we have an understanding, we can use one CT scan or one MRI to service the whole city, but we don't talk to each other. Next one, please. The next aspect we are interested is creating coronary care units in the remote areas. Why should you create coronary care units? Because half the people after the heart attack, if they don't go to a coronary care unit, they die. If they land in a coronary